Hi everybody, welcome back to Critical Mass. Well, a couple of bad boys went and saw Bad Boys yesterday. That's right, we're as tough as they come. Alright, well, there was a lot of talk about this movie for a long time. When are they going to come out with Bad Boys 3? When? They finally did it. And we're going to tell you, was it successful or not? Because Bad Boys 2 wasn't successful too much. Bad Boys 3 is back. Will Smith, Martin Lawrence reprising their roles. The original cast is back, looking slightly older, and they do play that up in the movie.
That's what it's about.
Quite a bit. Along with some new actors. The, what do they call the... Ammo. Vanessa Hudgens is in it as an action star. Okay, I guess.
Took me a while to figure out it was her.
Yeah. She actually didn't do that bad of a job considering she's like 5'0" in height. So the basic plot of the movie is Martin Lawrence wants to retire and somebody goes after Will Smith's character for revenge. And they go on one last ride. Like the trailer says, one last adventure sort of thing. The thing is, does it work? What did you think?
Well, Martin Lawrence's character, his whole thing is, I'm going to retire because this is getting old. I have a new member of the family I want to watch grow up, and I don't want to hurt myself. Like in every other buddy cop show, there's always an old guy who wants to retire. And they end up getting hurt before the end of the movie, and woof, close call. But this one, he wants to retire because he's old, and he feels old.
Yeah.
Like I remember when Bad Boys 1 and 2 were out and they were hip and they were cool and yeah, this is good action. And now I'm watching guys that are too old to even deliver their lines properly, I think.
I don't know, but put it this way, they did feed that into the movie. Like they said, he's getting old. They have more years behind them than they do in front of them. We can't do the stuff we used to do.
Are they supposed to be around the same age, him and Will Smith?
They're both in their 50s.
Okay, well, Will Smith looks like he can run a marathon, and then they have Martin Lawrence, who looks like he needs a ventilator.
And he's the one who wants to retire. So it kind of makes sense. Will Smith's character doesn't want to retire. He wants to fight bad guys until he's 100, and he says that in the movie. But they also do play up that Will Smith used to be that suave, cool guy, used to be able to go up to the young women and, charm his way into the nightclubs and everything, and in this one he doesn't get that, and another person has to come and help him out. So they do show that he's old and he has to come to realization of that.
But I just felt that, yeah, they're trying to play old, but even when they're doing their comedy, they're so old that it doesn't even click with me. Like Martin Lawrence, okay, great, you're coming back, you're playing an old character, but you might be too old to do comedy because your comedy didn't work.
I don't know. I didn't mind it as much. The trouble with this movie for me is it went on too long. It's a 2-hour, 5-minute movie, and if they would have condensed this into like an hour and 50 minutes, an hour and 45 minutes, some of those long stretches of scenes of dialogue that could have been really brought in or looking soulful and all that, could have been just deleted, and it would have been a much peppier, much snappier movie.
Yeah, there were a lot of long stretches.
There were. But when there was action, I enjoyed the action, and they made fun of it because they went over the top with it, and they admitted that they went over the top with a lot of the action. They even said, where do they keep getting all these helicopters from? Because bad guys keep showing up with helicopters. And yeah, it is what it was meant to be. It's a campy remake of a buddy cop movie. And it's directed by Michael Bay. So what is it going to be? It's going to be a lot of explosions and big, huge scenes. And
the action was the best part of it.
Yeah. And you know what? I don't mind Martin Lawrence and Will Smith, their camaraderie in the movie. Not all of the jokes worked, but overall, it wasn't the worst movie I've seen. By far.
It felt like it was a comedy, and you felt that it was lighthearted, but there was no comedy. It was like they were trying to do comedy, and we're supposed to think it's funny, but it was never funny.
Mm-hmm. But that kind of, if you watch Martin Lawrence films, those kind of dry humor jokes that he goes off, that's his humor. That is, one of the things I did like is they brought back most of the original cast from the other movies, even to the point, if you remember Bad Boys 2, that kind of scene, a lot of people liked it. I kind of thought, no, where the son comes to the door, somebody comes to the door and he wants to take out Martin Lawrence's daughter. And they both give him a really hard time to the point of showing him a gun and stuff like this. And I'm going, that's nowadays that would never fly, right? But they bring that same young man back and now he's marrying Martin Lawrence's daughter, which I thought was a really nice touch.
Yeah, I think this film succeeded for me based on one thing alone.
Which is?
It did what all the other movies are doing. They brought back an old franchise to get the nostalgia dollars, but they did it with a sequel.
Yeah.
They didn't do a reboot, they didn't do a remake, they made a sequel to a story that already existed and they progressed the story.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah. And they brought in new characters but didn't replace the old characters.
Yeah.
They didn't bring them in to replace them. They brought them in to work with them.
Yeah, and I can see one more Bad Boy movie with Will Smith and this new group, and then it'll just be the new group.
It's possible. I don't know if that would be successful or not, but they did kind of play into that at the end of the movie. Yeah. Kind of like Fast and the Furious franchise. They kind of went that exact route that they ended up doing at the end of the movies.
It was like, if they're going to want to continue the franchise, they did it right. I liked it. And the new crew, the millennials, they had their own dynamic that could have been pretty funny. They didn't focus too much on them, but I figure in the next movie, which there probably will be one, it'll be more of them and more comedic.
Yeah. And if there's not, you know what, this one wasn't a bad movie to end on. It was actually better than 2, I thought, quite a bit. Bad Boys 1 was by far, as normal, the best one. But Bad Boys 2 I really didn't like. Bad Boys 3, much better than Bad Boys 2.
Well, it was better than Gemini Man.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I had some worries about Will Smith going forward, but this one was better than Gemini Man, even though I didn't absolutely love this movie.
Mm. Okay, well, if you didn't love it though, what are you going to give it?
I wanted to give it less, but I think it deserves a 6.
See, I'm going to stick with a 7 because I got some of the humor and I didn't mind the action. Had they shortened it more, it would have been better, but I didn't come out of the movie going,
7.
Well, I also might be tainted a little bit because I also saw last night, right after this one, Dr. Doodle. Well, wait till you see my review on that one. In fact, this should be a 10 out of 10 compared to Dr. Doodle. Well, I hope you like this review. Stay tuned for the other one that's coming up, Dr. Doodle. Oh my God, wait till you hear that review. But until next time, why don't you check out some of our other videos down before? Maybe hit that subscribe button. Until next time, we'll see you at the channel.